Hello everyone. So in this video, I will be showing how to clean some of the aspects of a messy data set using some functions in Excel. So this particular data set was obtained from kaggle.com. I will put a link to that data set in the description as a form of acknowledgement. But as you can see from the data set, it's got some issues. A couple of issues that stand out immediately are the dates. So you can see that it doesn't have a date only, it also have the timestamp in it. So it got the hour and then plus 00, I'm guessing that's the millisecond or something like that. So we need to convert this into a proper date format. The other issue that you can see in this data set is that it's got a product category tree. So it's got the category here, clothing, furniture, and so forth. And then it's got the subcategory, and then ultimately it's got the product name. Now this product name is essentially the same as these products here, most of them. The brand names in this particular data set, we also have the retail price, discounted price, and the brands. So one of the challenge of this product category tree is to kind of filter out the category from this thing. There are obviously, as you can see, it's not an easy thing to do unless we use some functions in Excel. So I'll show that in another video. Also, the other issue is that in some cases, they do not even have a product category. So what to do about that? For example, in this one, there is no product category, it's just the product names. So some of them have product categories, some of them do not have product categories. But the other thing is that how do we get the product category out of this long text basically? So I'll show that in another video, but in this video, I want to focus mainly on the time and how to convert that into a proper date format. So the first thing we're going to do is insert column here. Okay, and as we can see, the date's there, but it's all mixed up with other information, and we don't want that information. So the way we solve this issue is we want to extract only the date part out of this cell. And the way we do that is by using a function called left. And left, there's another function called right, and there's another function called mid, and we'll be using that in a moment. But in this particular case, we just want to take out the date from this particular cell. And the left function essentially says, I want the Excel to essentially extract certain number of characters from this particular cell. So it's a very easy function. So we say equal, and then we go left. So left is automatically there as a function. We double click on it. Now it wants to know text. Basically, it's essentially asking which cell the text belongs to. And we say, okay, it belongs to A2. Fine, that's comma. And then it wants to know how many characters should I be extracting from the left side. Now, we can see that the dates got 4 for the year, 2 for the month, and then 2 for the date. But in Excel, these dashes are also counted as characters. And we also want them because otherwise we won't know which one is the month and which one is the date. So let's count how many characters should Excel extract from this cell. So if we start from 2 and then end at 5, then we can say 1, 2, 3, 4. And then remember, you have to take the dash into consideration. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we tell Excel, okay, you are going to start from the left and take 10 characters. Close the bracket, enter, and we have the date for this from this. Okay, so that was fairly easy. Once the crosshair appears on the cell, if you double click, it fills out the rest. So you can see that the date has already been obtained. However, looking at this one, it has still a problem. First problem is that dates are normally aligned on the right-hand side of the cell, not on the left-hand side of the cell. So this is not yet in a date format. In fact, it says over here, it's a general format. So the one way to fix these issues, an easy way to fix this issue, is to go there, click on this down arrow, and then select date. When I select date, it doesn't do anything, because if it is date, it should be basically be aligned from the right hand side, but it's still justified or aligned, whatever you want to call it, on the left hand side. So it's still not actually recording this as a date. In other words, we have to somehow convert this into a date format, and for that we're going to use something called the date function. So the way we do that is we insert another column, and we're going to use something called the date function, converting a text into a date. And it's actually called the date function. So we say equal, we said date, and you can see that date is already there. So we said date. Okay, now it wants to know year, month, and day. So it wants to know which part of this is the year, which part of this is the month, and which part of this is the date or the day. So the way we do that, so we know that, first of all, in this case, the first 4 characters are the year. Okay, so we have to tell Excel, okay, you're going to extract the first 4 characters from this cell, and you're going to count that or consider that as the date. So remember the way we did this function where we had left, and then we told Excel, you're going to take the first 10 characters. Similarly, we're going to say, okay, you start from left, because that's where my year is. And so we click on the left function, or even like you can put a bracket there, and then it wants to know, okay, which is the text? Where does the text belong to? It belongs to B2. And it wants to know how many characters am I going to consider? Well, we know that year should be the first 4, so we say 4, and we close the left function. So as you can see, it's the date function. So whatever character the Excel extracts from the left of this is going to put it or convert it into the year, because we have the date function here. So it's going to convert that 2016 into the year. Then we have comma. Now it wants to know, okay, which one is the month? Now the month is in the middle. So we can use another function, which is called the mid function. Okay. And the mid function needs 3 things in it, unlike left function. Left function only needed 2 things in it because it starts from the leftmost character. But the mid function starts from basically anywhere. So we have to, first of all, tell Excel which is the cell where the text belongs to. So that's B2, comma. It wants to know, where do I start? Because it's a mid function, it's not a left function or a right function. So it needs to know which character it should start from. So we have the first 4, which is the year. Then we have the dash, which is the 5th character in this particular cell. So the 6th character is 0. So the month actually starts from 0. So we say, well, you start from the 6th character. And then it wants to know, how many characters should I be extracting when I do start from 6th? Well, 6 is 0, and 3 is obviously a part of the month. So we say, you're going to extract 2 characters starting from number 6 position. And once you have got that, please put that as the month, because then because that's a date function, so it will convert that, whatever it extracts, like 03 in this case, it will convert that into the month. Now the date, or the day in this case. Okay, I think the reason they call it day is because they already have a date here. All right, so we know the day is 25. For that, we're going to use something called the right function. So when we use the right function, it's the same as the left function. So with the left function, Excel started from the leftmost character. With the right function, Excel will start from the rightmost character. So rightmost character is 5. First of all, obviously, we have to tell Excel which of these cell Excel should be looking into, and that's quite obvious, B2. Now it wants to know how many characters should I be counting when I start from the right. In other words, when I start from 5. So obviously 5 and 2. So that means 2 characters. So we say 2 characters. You'll start from the right and you will count 2 characters. Close the bracket. That's for the right function. But we need another bracket to close for the date function. And we enter. And as you can see, it's converted that into the date function. Now, I may not want this date to be in this way. So what I do is that I go to the number format here, click this arrow, and this is in the United States format. But if I want it to be in Australian format, then I could just select the location or locale, as they say here. I can select the type, and as you can see, it's converted into the day, month, year function. And it is a date function, and I know this is a date function because it says date here. Okay. And once I double click, you can see that everything has turned into a date function. All right, so that's how you can convert a text which has got quite a bit of detail into timestamp format to a proper date format. I hope the video is useful. Thank you very much.